All right, let's take this to England now and let's discuss the Premier League title race. I think it's pretty much down to two teams, Liverpool and Man City.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, if Chelsea really just explodes out of the gate, then maybe they can compete. But I don't think Chelsea maybe has that opportunity. Man U doesn't have enough depth, especially with the shortened schedule to really compete. So I think it's down between Liverpool and Manchester City. Yeah. And we saw last year, there was a big gap. It was 18 points, I believe, between Liverpool and Manchester City. But the thing is, a lot of experts this year are picking Man City to come back and win it. And, you know, they're kind of saying that's because Liverpool had such a great season last year. Everything just went right, and there's no way that'll happen again. But also, Manchester City didn't get too much better. They signed Ferran Torres from Valencia, and they signed Nathan Ake from Bournemouth. And me being a Bournemouth fan, I'm a little higher on Ake than most. But I don't, Ake is... will most likely not even slide into that center back position because he's left-footed, Laporte is left-footed, and and Laporte's better, and that just kind of won't work. So he's kind of back in this rotation role, and I don't know if those two signings are enough to kind of close that gap, especially with Liverpool still maintaining their team and just having the young players age another year and getting even better.
And I will say that, so they lost Leroy Sané this year too. He went to Bayern, but I don't know. I think I kind of agree with City going and winning it this year, just because I don't know. I think Liverpool, watching them in their first game against Leeds, they lost a step in the offseason, I think. And I don't know if that's just their first game back and if that's going to continue, or I think especially defensively.
It could be the championship hangover.
Well, yeah, which is what I think, and that's what I'm assuming.
Because it's so hard to win the Premier League back-to-back years.
Yeah, and I think City is such a good team. And their depth in City's team is just, I think, the best in the league.
So I have a quick question for you. Okay, so Liverpool's rumored to get Thiago Alcantara from Bayern Munich. How good would that make their team? How good would adding Thiago make this Liverpool team? And would it be enough for them, you know, to kind of clear all the experts' minds and say, okay, now Liverpool is going to win it? Does Thiago bump them that far ahead of Man City that everybody can say Liverpool is going to win this?
I think Thiago for sure improves their team because I think at Bayern he's the guy in the middle that kind of, he's almost like the engine room in the middle, you know, like kind of running, he runs the play. And I don't know, coming into this Liverpool team, I don't know if it's enough to change like the experts' minds necessarily to say, oh, for sure they're going to go win the league now. But I think he adds an extra bit of like, I don't know how, like comfort and security in their midfield, and especially defensively. I think having that security in the midfield defensively in front of the center backs, I think is huge for Liverpool. So I don't know. If he transfers, I think I give Liverpool a much better shot though.
Yeah.
To take the title again.
Okay, and then so let's take it to Man City. Man City has been rumored to get Koulibaly.
Yeah.
And if they get Koulibaly and they slide him in at that right center back position, that makes their team so good.
That's huge.
And that really solidifies their defense. And so the question I bring to you, Liverpool with Thiago and Man City with Koulibaly, which team wins then?
I think Koulibaly wins. The Man City
with Koulibaly beats Liverpool with Thiago.
I think so. I think that's a better signing. Especially because I think Liverpool is seen as the better defensive team.
Yeah.
So I think if you bring in Koulibaly to Man City, who is a little bit shaky in the back, I think that solidifies their back line. And then I think they already have one of the best midfielders, if not the best midfield in the league. They have Aguero, who I think is one of the best forwards in the league, top 3, one, maybe even the best in the league. So I think if they can secure that signing, then I think they win the league for sure. That's the kind of signing that I think puts them over the top instead of Thiago putting Liverpool over the top.
I definitely agree with that, and the fact that, you know, Koulibaly has been just a strong, like, sort of center back, but it also comes, you got to make sure you get Koulibaly at the right price.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of reaching the top of his age. He's 29 right now, I think.
Yeah.
And Napoli's asking for like 80 million of him. And for a 29-year-old center back that, you know, is probably going to start in terms of like statistical averages is going to start declining soon.
Yeah.
And so it's up to Man City if they want to decide whether they want to pay that $80 million in order to get this player and then pay his wages, of course, which is just even more money.
Which they have the money.
But they obviously have the money, but, you know, it's kind of, you know, Barcelona thought they had the money. They thought they could give it out and, you know, that kind of didn't work out. And so Man City, especially with the fact that Messi wants to come there next year. Mm-hmm. That is what has been said. If Messi wants to come there next year, they need to start saving money for him. It's going to be a free transfer, but they still need to pay his wages.
Wage is going to be insane, yeah.
So the question is, would they even want to, they wouldn't give up like 80 million for Koulibaly, especially if they knew Messi was coming, because they want to save that sort of money for him. Now, if Koulibaly was like 60 million, maybe you can talk about it a little more, but still, I don't know if Man City wants to take that financial risk, knowing that, because I figure Pep's talked to Messi, and I figure Messi said yes, I want to come really badly. Well, and if he said that, and if that has happened, which I think it has, Man City's not going to spend any more money. They're gonna, in fact, probably sell one or two players.
They would, yeah.
And sort of build up that money in order to kind of start packing in their money, and maybe they don't sign that player or two that can help them win the Premier League this year because they know they get Messi next year. Yeah. And that would fly them over the top if they got Messi.
But also at the same time, I don't know if it's in the current moment, it's not a financial risk to sign Koulibaly right now. I don't think.
At a certain price.
Yeah. Because I think he is one of the top, I would say, 4 center backs in the world right now. Yeah. Right? So I think if he comes into this team right now, that's why he pushes them over the top. Mm-hmm. And I think he would probably last at least maybe another 2-3 years at his max top level performances, right? So, and that's enough. You bring Messi in on top of him. Messi's obviously not in his prime anymore, but he's still best player in the world, honestly. Yeah.
He's a year removed from 50 goals.
Yeah, I mean, you can never put him out.
He's 20 goals, 20 assists last year. He still looks
he's still insane.
Absolutely insane. And, if you bring Messi and you bring Koulibaly in, your team's set all over the place.
I mean, you have Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
You have Sergio Aguero. I mean, Sterling.
You have Messi, you have Koulibaly.
They
even have Walker. You have Ederson.
Phil Foden coming up through. Yeah, I mean, they have the setup to do this and make these signings, I think. And if they did, I think they could even go 2 years, I think, if they make these 2 signings. They make Koulibaly signing this year, and they make the Messi signing next year. I think they have the ability to win 2 back-to-back 2 years.
Do you think they can be better than the Centurions? The Centurion team that they have?
Yeah.
What do you think is that ceiling?
Okay, actually, I would say no. Just because this Liverpool team is better than any competition that they had when they won. Right? Mm-hmm. I think the competition now in general is just better. Yeah. Because teams like Chelsea, Arsenal has gotten significantly better this year. So I think the competition to win the league this year is a lot heavier. So, or at least rack up the points, over 100. So, I mean, Liverpool couldn't even do it last year, and they had an amazing season.
Well, let's just point out the fact, I think Liverpool gets over 100 if there's no restart.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's a fair statement. Okay. Yeah. So, I still don't think, though. I don't think that they could beat that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. The competition's a little harder, but that team would be so much fun to watch.
And I think with Pep too, that'd be a fun team to watch.
I mean, Pep brings out the best in Messi, and that's why Messi wants to go there.
Yeah, that's why he wants to go. But
just Pep with that team, just so much creative genius.
Oh yeah,
they could play. They'd be favorites to win the Champions League and the Premier League for as long as Messi's there.
Yeah, I think that they would. I would say that they'd win the Champions League with those 2 signings.
I think if they didn't, let's say Messi signs a 3-year contract and they have both Messi and Koulibaly, if they didn't win a Champions League in those 3 years, it would be almost a failure.
Yeah, and I think this is assuming too that everybody else stays.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we are assuming that they keep the same team, at least in terms of starters, and then add on Messi and Koulibaly. If they did not win the Champions League and won one Premier League, that would be a failure.
Yeah, at least make it to the final of the Champions League.
No, if they do not win the Champions League when they have Messi and if they have Koulibaly, that is a failure.
Really? I think
one of the best players ever, one of the best midfielders in Kevin, one of the best defenders in Koulibaly, one of the best goalies in Ederson. Okay. You have such this strong group of players. Yeah. That would be one of the best coaches of all time. Yeah. It would be a absolute failure if they did not win the Champions League.
Yeah, okay. The only reason that I say that is just because anything can happen.
If there were injuries, then that's fine.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. If they had that team, they would be better than any team on paper.
Okay. Let's take this Bayern team from this last year. Do you think that City team could go in and easily just take out the Bayern team from this year.
I don't know about easily. I definitely think they would be favored. I definitely think they should beat them. I definitely think like the experts would be like, yeah, like this is a Man City match.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to be like a 3-1, a 4-1 game. It's going to be like a close, like 1-0, like 2-1 sort of game. But it's definitely going to be like, Man City deserved this.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.